He accidentally noticed that the hand of a girl working at a phone store was turning transparent. He knew it wasn't an illusion. His only instinct was to get away. But just as he ran out of the store, a flash of a similar experience hit him. The day before coming to the phone store, he had bumped into a stranger on the street. When he turned to apologize, he saw the man's body had turned transparent. Curious, he followed him, and at an intersection, he watched the man die in a car accident. A terrifying pattern formed in his mind. Anyone whose body turned transparent would soon die a violent death. And that girl with the warm smile, she was already standing at death's door. This time, he couldn't just stand by, so he made a slightly awkward request.
大切な話があります。仕事が終わったら30分だけ時間をいただけないでしょうか。
After hesitating for a moment, the girl agreed. After work, she met him at the spot they'd agreed on. Seeing that her hand had returned to normal, Jack, who had been anxiously waiting, finally relaxed. That meant she had escaped the danger. When Anna asked why he wanted to meet, Jack didn't know how to explain. Even if he told her something so bizarre, she probably wouldn't believe him. But Anna said,
信じるかどうかは聞いてみないとわからないですから。
Jack had no choice but to tell her he could see signs of death and had just saved a life. To his surprise, Anna believed him without a hint of doubt, and immediately guessed she was the one he'd saved. Panicked, Jack made up an excuse and rushed out of the cafe. But as soon as he stepped outside, a sharp pain shot through his chest. He had a bad feeling. Was this the price for changing someone's fate? But when he looked back at Anna through the window, there was only resolve in his eyes. Even if it meant suffering, he didn't regret his choice. He thought it would all stay a secret. But the next day, Anna showed up at the auto repair shop where he worked. She had come just to thank him for saving her life. Seeing the confusion on Jack's face, Anna pulled out a newspaper. It reported a factory explosion the night before, a tragic accident with many casualties. That factory was on her way home from work. If Jack hadn't asked her to meet him at the cafe, she would have been there when it happened. Jack quickly said it must be a coincidence and that he was just trying to hit on her. He didn't want to be seen as some freak, and he didn't want Anna to think that her so-called savior was just an ordinary mechanic.
がっかりしたでしょ。こんな男で。
いえ、よかったです。こんな方で。
That day, Jack's boss fired an employee who had secretly taken a customer's car for a joyride. Then Jack noticed with horror, the boss's hand had suddenly turned transparent. This ominous sign meant danger was coming for him. To prevent an accident, Jack made an excuse to take his boss out to dinner that night, hoping to keep him safe. But on the way to the restaurant, he saw the transparency had spread to the boss's head. Danger was imminent. And then, almost immediately, the fired employee lunged at them. Jack shielded his boss from the attack, and the boss's body returned to normal. Jack breathed a sigh of relief, but then came the pain, worse than before.
社長、許してあげ。
Kima.
When Jack opened his eyes again, he was lying in a hospital bed. The doctor did a preliminary exam but found nothing obvious. More tests were needed. While waiting for the results, Jack noticed a little girl in the hallway whose body was starting to turn transparent. His first instinct was to check on her, but the doctor suddenly stopped him.
やめとけ。余計なこと考えんな。